Where are they? Where are they?
I'll find them.
No, she was with me. She was with me, and then I had to go and do laundry, and he was with you. How did he?
Rockets.
So he'd still be there.
I'm sure he is.
He knows to wait for you. She's smart. She'll have found a place.
They know what to do.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
That's right. This is episode 200.
Shut up.
Oh.
Shut up. Shh.
Oh, sorry.
They're there. They're
This
going to find us.
this is episode 270. And today we're talking about A Quiet Place. I'm not going to do the whole show like that.
Yeah.
That'd be really annoying.
Which wouldn't work for podcasts very well.
Yeah,
right?
that would suck. I don't know. Maybe we have a
How
few...
long now that would totally test a listener's tolerance, how long they would actually listen to us actually whispering a podcast, right?
Well, either that or we just triggered someone's ASMR.
Is it ASMR?
ASMR.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm fully turned on right now.
Yeah, either that really did it for someone or really didn't do it for someone. So anyway, I'm Sean Allred, and joining me tonight, I know which I would put the money on. Andrew, shouldn't they be wearing sneakers? Jimison, see what I did there?
Nice. Because they were being sneaky.
This is where you...
See what you did.
I'll say this. Nothing still beats last week when I actually made Andrew speechless with his intro. Sam, shotgun to the audio sensor face vector.
Ooh.
Haven't done the shotgun.
Well, I've got something to comment later when we get to that part. But Sean, just so you know, I would totally handcuff like a cluster of tin cans to you before you go out. Just so you know.
Click, 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 click. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
See what I did there? I didn't kill you.
Yeah.
Hey,
no, I got you. I'm with you. And Steven, at least try to axe the monster, Everett.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, or not even swing. Just drop the axe. Oh my gosh, Steve Everett's with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, I thought I heard a voice there.
Yeah, much sexier and way
it's real
more,
this time.
And way more talented voice.
Yes,
voice.
much.
In case you don't know who I'm talking about, this is his intro.
Steven.
Yeah, I got to play it every time. So there you go.
Dude, what is that from? Because I love that.
It's from a Kesha song.
God,
is it really?
No wonder I didn't know about it.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about making that my walk-up music, but not for like on stage or like a baseball game or something, but my walk-up music for like when I go buy booze from the liquor store.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Just have one of those Bluetooth speakers, right?
You just walk into the room and just be like...
You put it on the register and you walk about 20 feet away.
Steven.
Now that I told you that's Kesha, you can totally hear it, right?
I mean, I'm not versed in the Kesha catalog, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was key dollar
sign
dollar
ha.
A
Yeah.
Or ha.
Yeah.
Key
Is there a
dollar
dollar
sign
sign
ha.
in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's Kesha. I like Kesha.
I do too, especially on hot dogs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kesha me outside. How about that?
There we go. Yeah, can I catch you out after the show, Steve?
Yeah.
Well, we beat that joke to death. Speaking of,
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, speaking of beating to death, this movie, A Quiet Place, 2018's A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm.
Try spelling that.
The much talented John Krasinski, I think.
Much talented.
Yeah, because he's done, like, you want to talk about a dude with a range. I mean, like, he does that show, The Office, right? So he's just a comedian guy. And then out of nowhere, he does the Michael Bay thing, right? The 13 Hours.
13, yeah.
Whatever it's called, something like that.
Yep.
And
what was it? Did I watch that one?
We did it for the podcast.
Yeah. It's the embassy in Libya. It's awesome.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We did it.
Okay.
And we're all like,
he had a beard in that as well.
Yeah, and we're like, oh my gosh, he's all muscly, and he's really good in that movie.
Yeah.
And
he brought Michael Bay with him. Michael Bay produced this joint.
Yeah.
I saw that at the end. I was like, wait a second. Bay did this?
Yeah.
No wonder there was fireworks.
Were there any doves?
Well, no. Doves is John Woo. It would have been Michael Bay, though, had the monster stood up and then we slowly panned around them in slow motion. Yeah. That would have been a Michael Bay.
Oh, see, I would have, if I was Michael Bay and I was a producer, every movie I produced had to have a shot like that.
Yeah.
It would just have to.
Yeah. Well, I was like, wait, Michael Bay produced this? I guess John was just like, I need some money because,
Yeah. Stop saying Jim's name wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I had never watched The Office, so I don't.
Oh.
I'm not beholden onto him as that.
Well, then you're going to hate all of our
our
5-word synopsis.
That's fair.
I bet every single one of us goes there.
Except for me, obviously. So let's do that since Steve brought it up. Typically on this one, we make Sam go first. So, Sam, what is your 5-word review for A Quiet Place?
Oh, okay. I've got several.
Okay.
And just the first one is Starship Trooper bugs with ears.
Huh.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
And then, of course, I have my review of Tense Monsters but Leaky Prop. Sorry, Leaky Plot.
Oh, okay.
Leaky.
Yeah.
Leaky.
There's a lot of water in this.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I can't do this, and Steven called me out. Jim can't talk or axe.
Mm-hmm.
Or axe. Nice. Those are good. Andrew, what do you got?
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Oh.
You gotta click the button with a microphone.
He's good. He was talking to his kids. I thought I heard him.
Okay, Steven, then you go, and we'll bring Andrew along if he comes back.
I'm actually talking to Andrew's kids too right now.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Wait a second. What about that 50-yard rule?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I only came up with one because I didn't know that I could be prolific, as Sam just demonstrated.
Well,
sorry.
It's a thing we've done for now 4 episodes. It's not like we have a whole lot of rules other than 5 words. So
sure. So mine is just Jim Halpert cheats on Pam.
With his own wife. That's interesting.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be with this other girl from The Office, but I guess that's all just gone now.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you grow up.
Now he's a farmer too. He took over Dwight's farm.
Exactly, and other things Sean doesn't get.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Oh, I'm sure some listeners are probably enjoying this. I have no clue.
Fields of beets.
Yeah.
Would be as interesting running from creatures in fields of beets as it is corn.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he didn't look at the camera at any point in this movie, so I guess, Andrew, you with us now?
Yeah, so I was talking for like 10 minutes, and
did we keep interrupting you?
My microphone was showing me that it was unmuted, but for some reason I had to unplug and plug, and
sorry, dude.
Stuff happened there.
Weird.
Yeah. So you didn't hear all the
keep
cursing.
your
You don't have to do
excuses
as much
to yourself.
It's the best 5 minutes of Andrew's podcasting career ever. We didn't get to hear.
Yeah, right there.
It
Totally
really was. It was gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so my 5-word synopsis is surprisingly loud for a silent film.
Oh, yeah.
That's 6 words, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Surprisingly loud.
The creatures were awfully loud for sure. I can't imagine seeing this in the theater because there were times when you could probably hear somebody eating popcorn, 3 rows in front of you.
Yeah.
But then, you could scream along with it in some places and not be heard. So lots of dynamic sound.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, my lame one, because those are actually all really good, and mine's not nearly as clever, is for once, the feedback wins.
Sound guy.
Yeah.
Of course you had to put that in there.
Yeah.
So somebody, or somewhere in America, someone is testing a mic and a creature is screaming.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Right? Is tapping it.
Well, yeah, because in every movie, whenever there's a microphone on screen, there's feedback for whatever reason. And then it just magically goes away. It's the bane.
Yeah, I thought that when I went and saw A Star Is Born, that's like the sound. That's the film sound of someone taking the mic. Is this kind of like soft, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I was that guy, I would fire that guy immediately. Be like, this is an international tour. And like we're all getting paid a lot of money. We've done this like 900 times in a row, and you still can't get this thing dialed in.
Yeah, and the fact that for some reason handing a microphone, 50 meters away from a speaker still somehow causes feedback. It's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know why you're going to use meters on me. I'm not like a scientist or anything.
I'm not sure what just happened.
Yeah, we're Americans here, Sean.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Come on, buddy.
I'm not sure why I said
Emily
that.
Blunt's not.
That's true. She's not. What made up country is Sam going to say she's from though? Say she's from.
Oh no, she's English. She's Mary Poppins.
Okay. So, well, I'm surprised you actually admit that. Okay.
Well, she was Mary Poppins. She fit right in.
All right. No, I mean, again, I'm impressed that you actually admit that she's actually from the place that she's actually from. Because normally you would say something like, "Oh, well, that one time when she was in that one movie, she played, a Native American, so clearly she's from Kansas or something." But
yeah, no, this one's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Just like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine whoever that is. So, Andrew, do you want to tell us what this movie is? I know we're already kind of like 15 minutes into it. Do you want to give us the rundown?
Well, it's not the rundown.
No.
RD.
But I can tell you what it's about.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
The rundown would be fun to do.
Imagine him in this movie.
It suddenly becomes better.
The Rock? Well, The Rock would have just punched the creatures in the face.
No.
Sean William Scott?
No.
Christopher Walken?
Better. Best buddy. Guy with eyes.
Guy with eyes? I'm
Who's
really confused.
The leader of the pit?
I have no idea what you're
talking
about.
Come on. I gave you guys.
I said Christopher Walken.
Jobs. There you go, Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Could you imagine though Christopher Walken in a
Apparently
silent movie?
Talking.
Yeah. It would be kind of wasteful. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay. In a post-apocalyptic world, a family is forced to live in silence while hiding from monsters with ultra-sensitive hearing, which is much like the students in my room thinking they can get away with playing wrong notes.
Yeah. That's actually my wife and I on a Saturday morning. We figured if we just don't make any noise, our kids won't come in and wake us up. So
they're not like T-Rexes. If you don't move, they can't see you.
Yeah, so. You're not wrong.
Did you get a Jurassic Park sense from this movie?
Some of it.
I kind of did. Like Jurassic Park meets Tremors and maybe Cloverfield or something.
Yeah, well, apparently this was going to start out as a Cloverfield movie.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to be associated with it or something, right? Or I didn't read the trivia all the way. But
basically, the idea was that this was going to be part of the Cloverfield universe. But then, it just wasn't for some reason, because it's still, I think it's still a Paramount film. So it could have been, but they changed it for whatever reason, which I'm fine with. Honestly, I don't really care, because the Cloverfield universe is kind of confusing as it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think if Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote Good Will Hunting now, they should just be like, oh no, this isn't just a one-off film. This is part of the Boston Guy universe.
Oh, sure.
And we're gonna need about 20 or 30 of these to really tell the whole story. And just go ahead and get that money right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, they should just say things like, "Oh, the Departed is part of our thing," and like basically
in the town. I mean, they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Like Casey Affleck's got the Manchester by the Sea. Like they're nailing it. They should have just gotten them to.
Yeah, they're all part of the same.
Keep going
universe,
with that. Yeah.
I like this, and like the Simon Pegg trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy. They should just have them all connected by like a fake beer from New England.
And somehow it's also Mission Impossible
Boston
now.
Lager.
They've crossed over.
Oh yeah, nice.
There you go.
Tom Cruise is now in the Shaun of the Dead trilogy.
Oh, I like that idea a lot. I rewatched Shaun of the Dead about not more than a month ago. That movie is so fun. My God.
Yeah.
I forgot how much fun that movie is.
Yeah, they do well with that. All three of those movies are great. I wish the last one was streaming somewhere so we could see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
End of the World.
Yeah, I'll watch it. We'll watch it eventually. It'll get on streaming at some point. Yeah. Well,
so this movie.
Yeah, I almost feel like we're talking about other stuff because we didn't like this movie. I like this movie a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and say
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as scary as The Conjuring, which is two totally different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife about it because she watched with me as well. And it felt like, obviously, The Conjuring could happen based on true story, and all the ghosts and goblins or not goblins, but ghosts and spiritual stuff versus monster movie, right? But I got to give it to Jim. He can put some tense scenes together.
Yeah.
The birth scene, for God's sake. All of us, and maybe Steve, you've got a couple out there as well. Have these kids and know what it takes to get them out, and it's not a quiet event.
Yeah.
It is not a quiet thing. No. And to have these monsters prowling around in her house while it's happening is just crazy.
I have to ask this before we get too much in the movie because this is what my brain does. Okay, my brain does the thing where a lot of people do is like you put yourself in. Try to put yourself in that world, right? So the movie starts, it's like day 89, I think, after what we are assuming is whatever makes them show up. From the trivia I read, there were meteors crashing down, and all of a sudden these things showed up. So I'm going to assume that for the first 20, 30, 40, 50 days, there was some kind of fight, right? The military engaged, but because these things are so strong, they can rip through tanks and obviously tanks.
Apparently, they're armored, like their skin must be crazy armored.
But we found out later in the movie that a shotgun blast kills it.
Yeah,
but only because its skin had. So it was like all spreading out on its head.
So I mean, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with the idea of like, okay, these things are armored enough that normal bullets can't penetrate. Fine, I have a hard time believing that we can't blow them up with a tank or run them over or whatever. Not the point.
They're fast.
Yeah, and they're fast, and it's probably hard to fight these types of things with airplanes and nuclear missiles and stuff like that. So I'm okay with the idea that we are now into a point where this is what it is. And I did see, it seems interesting that Jim and his family had just kind of accepted the role of now farmer life. It seemed pretty short after it all had gone down. 89 days. I think the four of us are still trying to figure out, where our next meal is coming from. These guys were ready to go.
You think they were farmers before?
I do.
Yeah, I think so.
And the fact that their daughter was deaf, so they already knew sign language. Kind of helped also.
Do you have any good clips of the sign language? They did some really good work in there.
I really don't. Unfortunately, I don't. But here's the one thing that I kept in the back of my mind all the time, kept thinking. And they establish it really early on. Here are the rules. These things hear stuff, and they will kill whatever they hear. Like a raccoon is making noise, and it kills the raccoon. I guess it eats it, or kills it.
And can I add to that, Sean? Too, that there were literally 10 to 20 newspaper articles about them hearing and being able to hear.
Yeah,
which means we had time to write the articles and
publish them.
Publish them.
Yeah.
And one would hope, I'm sorry, I don't mean to steal your thunder,
No, you're
but
fine.
one would hope that somebody would have figured it out in that time. Some smart person would have said, "Oh, they have super hearing. What happens if we try different frequencies on them and see what goes?"
Yeah, and that's
right?
one of my issues with the movie is like we currently have today. We have sonic weapons. That technology is not
Hulk
new.
Movie.
Well, the Hulk movie proves it. You're right, but like we have and Batman versus Superman, but like we have this technology. You're not wrong, Sam. We should be doing this thing. But I'm going to go a little bit smaller world.
Okay.
Jim has created. I'm just going to call him Jim because I think it's easier than to argue with you guys. That he's created.
Are you talking about John Krasinski?
Yes. He's created this world where sand. You have to walk everywhere on sand barefoot. Right. They've obviously figured out that shoes are too noisy, and they've even gone so far as to figure out which planks of wood you can step on in the house, especially the one with the nail.
That pissed me off, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
we'll talk about that.
That made me cringe.
It was the same house from Home Alone.
Marv,
that's about where that stair was in that house too.
Yeah. Marv is still down in that basement screaming. He even came up with a plan of escape. With the fireworks and stuff. Like, I mean, they had this thing very material. They're going to have a baby. We need to create like a box. I just don't understand why at some point they didn't dig a giant hole with a bunch of spikes and then put a noisemaker in it so that if they get near the farm, they can set this thing off and then they go there. Like, that's,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stuff that I would try.
Yeah.
Whether or not it worked is irrelevant. But, that's the stuff.
Maybe they did. Maybe we just skipped over that where they did that and the thing's armor was so good, they just crawled right back out.
Yeah.
The spikes didn't work.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, why don't they just build their house next to that waterfall? Like,
or
maybe
go to the waterfall for the birth.
Well,
hang out over there.
She didn't know that was going to happen. Obviously, I mean, I think the stress of the moment is what kicked it in.
But I think once you get to 8 months, let's just keep hanging out by the waterfall.
Right.
Well, but the problem is that house and farm are over there, and the waterfall is way over there. We don't know how far it is, but it was obviously a pretty good hike.
Okay, well, you're not on my team if this happens for real anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And think too, remember Shyamalan's Village and the different outposts? Put up some really squeaky windmills all the way around the farm.
Yeah, I thought about that. Make some noise away from your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's all these why didn't they try it? But of course, then we wouldn't have the scenes we have.
Yeah.
Obviously, the movie wouldn't work.
The movie
because then it'd be
work,
just boring, watching them eat a sandwich on the porch while the creatures are attacking a squeaky
And
windmill.
that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing you have to remember is like they would definitely break some stuff. So you need something kind of like a natural phenomenon that's loud. Otherwise, they would just like knock it over and be like, "Thank God that thing's."
I wonder what those things do like in a thunderstorm. Like, do they lose their minds in a thunderstorm?
With all the rain?
Yeah, and like the thunder, like does it hurt their ears? I mean I don't know.
Well, they greenlit the sequel.
In essence, are you invisible to them in the thunderstorm?
I mean, yeah, probably. They probably
that would be that was an interesting scene right there if they would have done that.
Yeah, and then we get Daredevil in there, and he,
yeah. Maybe they have some sort of
totally
Daredevil vision, blind vision.
Jessica Alba comes back for it.
Oh, see, I was thinking Netflix Daredevil.
Wait, Jessica Alba's she's in Fantastic Four.
Oh, I know. I just want her to come back and start making movies, and that seems like a thing she would be down for.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you're not wrong.
It's Jessica Alba.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Yeah.
I was like, she wasn't in that movie.
If only.
Yeah, because that's the problem with it was because of Jennifer Garner. Anyway, so let's talk about what actually happened in the movie instead of saying what we kind of wished would have happened. Yeah. Because I could do that a lot.
We could do all night talk about that, yeah.
So I'm going to just kind of state, this movie was intense. It's been a while since
they were in a house.
Camping's intense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It has been a while since...
Sorry, dad joke of the night.
Yeah, no, but this punch-drunk version of you, Sam, was really interesting. I can't remember what I was saying. You guys keep distracting me.
Mission success.
I know it's been a while since you've derailed me, Sam. I'm actually a little bit impressed. The one thing I did wrote was, wow, I didn't see that cold intro coming.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
That intro is rough. That's a rough piece of business. And I don't know. Are we going to talk about it? I mean, it's been 2 years, right? So little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, I think spoilers are fair.
Spoiler. Yeah, listeners, this is going to spoil this movie from this point.
And I guess if we're doing a movie podcast about movies that you can readily access on a streaming service, then if you don't watch the movie and get mad that we spoil it, I guess it's more on you than us.
Yeah.
Guys, and just our moms are listening anyway, so let's just do it.
And that opening scene for us who have legitimate kids, that's hard to.
That seems like a personal attack. And I don't have any kids, legitimate or otherwise.
Oh my gosh! I just got the name of the episode. Okay.
Those of us who have legitimate kids.
Holy
wow.
Throwing the shade.
Oh, I love it. It's hard. That is a hard scene to get through.
Just woke up my children.
And I didn't see it coming.
Oh,
I thought either. I don't know. I don't know how it was going to start, but that was one hell of a way to show the not repercussions of this world, but the what could really happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quickly too.
So, yeah, it's brutal, especially for kids.
Yeah,
I mean, kids don't know any better. I'm surprised that kid was as quiet as he was everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of. It would be a huge culture shock for someone as young as that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like the two older kids, you kind of get it a little bit. Like, here's this horrible thing. We're probably watching it on the news, and maybe they see some stuff and whatever, and so they can kind of acclimate. If tomorrow I had to tell my son, you can no longer talk, that's going to be rough for us. Because you all have met my son, and he likes to do him some talking. And when he's not talking, he's humming or whistling. So
kids make noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just in their nature, too.
Yeah.
And even the kid that was sick in the cold open, I'm sitting there thinking, what if this kid sneezes or has to cough?
Yeah, totally.
You know, in this world, that's a death, that causes death. So
is it weird that now I just thought about, like, what do they do for the bathroom? Like, do they go back into the house? Like, is there still plumbing? I mean, do they have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, can they
what if you have, like, I mean, they're farmers. They're eating lots of greens and fiber.
I guess you can't flush.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do they, like, do they flush the toilet? I mean, do they?
What if you let one loose in the outhouse?
Yeah. They're
I
like,
guess that brings a new
Dad's got to go
to silent but deadly.
Yeah.
It'd be the opposite, really.
Yeah, loud and deadly. Yeah. Like, Dad's got to drop a big deuce, go set the fireworks off. Or maybe that's why they went by the river. Maybe that's why they were there. It was to. And
poop. With kids, you'd have to, like, celebrate, the behavior that you want to repeat. So when they take a really silent poop, you're like, hell of a silent crap, young man.
Yeah.
Way to go, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was I sorry, the noises in the background. It was very good, and I was very. I mean, basically, the whole movie is what, like, it almost feels like it's a montage, right? Until it's
montage.
Oh yeah, I haven't played that in so long. Because I mean, it's not really a montage, is it?
No,
I
don't think there is.
Not.
No,
it's not.
Because he's not like putting the fireworks together.
Yeah, that would have been kind of neat to see, like, a montage of them kind of building the farm or whatever. But anyway, basically,
that's how I felt. It was a little bit short as a movie anyway, and I would have loved, like, the whole backstory. Like, let me fall a little bit more in love with that kid, so that when he does get snatched, it's like, even more heartbreaking. I wanted that. I wanted to feel what you guys felt with your legitimate kids.
I did. One of my notes was how are they going to have a baby? And then I wrote, I guess we'll find out, because you're not going to have her be pregnant and then not show us how they're going to have it.
Right.
But
and I mean, and that's part of the whole building up of dread too, because Like, you know what it takes. And for some reason, I thought I saw a trailer of her screaming underwater in a bathtub, not just laying in it.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought I saw it
too. Or well, maybe that's from another movie.
Yeah, you're thinking
maybe.
What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Though the poster does have her in a bathtub, with some kind of shadowy figure in the hallway. It's if they hear you, they hunt you. Yeah, that's a good.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, the baby, like when they show the scene where they got the little air tank and then they put it inside the crib or the case and then they close it. I thought, is that where the baby's gonna sleep? And that's where the baby would have to sleep. Though I was a little confused as how the lid got off. Did the monster come down into the water basement while she was sleeping and accidentally knock the lid off?
I think it was when it was floating.
Did something fall and hit it as things were floating around?
Yeah, I mean, because like she wakes up and the lid's off, but they put the baby in the box. No one puts baby in a box. Sorry. And left. When Jim left, Jimmy John. When he left. Does he even have a name? Does anyone have a name in this movie? I just realized.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah. It's on Amazon.
Lee, Abbott, Reagan, Marcus, and Evelyn. So he was Lee. Okay. And then the little boy was Bo.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Man in the Woods was Leon. Oh my gosh, that scream that he let out, man, that was haunting. Ugh.
Now, okay. We were watching and I saw that part, but was his wife dead?
Yeah.
But did a monster get her, or did he get her?
I think she just died.
Yeah,
like natural causes.
I thought I saw blood though. I'd have to go look again. But
you think maybe he killed her?
Yeah, I think a monster maybe.
I think a monster might have got her.
Oh, okay. I did. Oh, geez. Oh gosh, sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen.
It's not a quiet place.
No, that was a noisy place. I'm actually looking back at the scene now. There's the old man, and he's all sad looking, and John is doing the thing where he puts his finger up to his mouth like he does constantly in the movie. And no, he's like,
although he likes to kind of stick it on his nose, kind of like Santa.
He did kind of do that several times. Oh yeah, she's all tore up and bloody. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
I must have missed that somehow. So yeah, maybe she went out in the woods and by herself and made a noise, and the monster got her.
Stepped on a stick or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she is Rhonda Pell, and her character name is Old Man's Dead Wife.
Dang. At least they're not calling her old,
Yeah, that's true. Oh, she Leon, the old man in the woods. He is best known for True Grit that we just watched.
Oh, wow.
And he was on NCIS. And
how about that?
I kind of want to know what he was in that movie. No, I'll have to go down that rabbit hole some other time. Anyway, that's fine. That was fun. Anything else? I mean, this movie is it's so intense, and it just had me all wound up. It's been a while since a movie like this had me on the edge of my seat as much as he did, as much as it did.
I really feel like this movie fits the mold of a horror movie as much as a thriller.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems to me like if you were the only reason that that guy still wants to live is because he has a wife and children. So I think that's the real what makes it so horrific. Is if I was just there in that situation myself, I'd be like, cool, I'm gonna go get a bunch of junk food and liquor and just call this what it is. Have a
final concert.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that's what made it even scarier for me was as a man, you always like, well, I have a way out. I'll cut my way out, or like what I'm talking about. But then you realize oh, he has to stick around, and that's another form of pressure that's just surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
Under IMDb for more like this, we have Get Out, Us, Split, Hereditary, which I've never heard of, The Conjuring, which we just watched, and Annihilation, which is like we're watching that in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's a good movie.
Or 4 weeks. Yeah, that's going to be like one of our... we're watching that during December, so apparently it's going to be one of our Christmas movies.
Nice. Yeah, Hereditary is definitely spooky, but I like to call it hereditary, so it takes the sting off.
Hereditary.
I bring up often, Steve, some of the words that you do that too. Like someone had a really nice guitar in their office, and I was like, "Hey, that's a nice Guitar." And then I realized that no one else knows what that means except you and me and Andrew, the other Andrew. And and then
it's gotten more radical over the years.
Yeah. Oh, like your ability to do that, or
yeah, just what I do that too, and saying words backwards, and I think I might have some kind of brain tumor or something.
Yeah, maybe it's just like Everett's Tourette's or something. You know, it's just your own version of it.
Yeah, I just really like to play with words, and then but like you're saying, like I think it's something that's really funny and silly, and everybody's like, we don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah,
it's just you.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure you're saying. Are you saying Serendipity? Yeah, it's a movie with John Cusack.
Yeah. Hereditary.
Hereditary. I like that. Oh my goodness. What would you say? How would you rename this movie that we just watched?
Acquiet Place.
Acquiet Place. Nice. It almost sounds Latin.
Nice.
Oh, what are we
or
singing
a Harry
for
Potter spell.
Oh, yeah. It makes you turn silent. I like that. Yeah, it's a Harry Potter spell. Acquiet Place, and then you can't talk for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I like this idea. We just created J.K. Rowling. We got something for the next movie. There you go. Yeah. Which they are making more.
Yeah.
I did
filmed in a beautiful area of New York State. It was just fun to look at.
What?
This movie.
Oh yeah. It was upstate New York. Most of it
gorgeous
was filmed. I didn't read much else where else it was filmed. Let's see, some parts else. Little Falls, New York, and there was in fact a little fall, which is cute. They went to the Beacon.
Oh,
really?
No, they went to Beacon, New York, but
not the Beacon.
Not the Beacon. Everyone that's listening.
I was getting hungry for a second.
Go for some Beacon right now.
Yeah, plenty.
Speaking of inside jokes.
Yeah, I know.
This restaurant we ate at in college a few times.
Yeah, well, anyone that's listening that's from North or South Carolina, which we have people that do, they probably know what we're talking about, even though they weren't in marching band. I did write, that nail is going to hurt someone later.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what was your biggest jump scare of the movie? Because I had one. I had one that got me. I mean, really got me. Was there one for you guys?
I expected something in the Children of the Corn moment, but it didn't really pan out.
Not for you, Sam?
Was there one when a cat came in or something? I'm trying to remember.
The raccoon had a good little scare.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, maybe it was the raccoon, but there was one. It was kind of just out of nowhere. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one because I'm not. There was several, if I remember right, but none quite as powerful as the Conjuring jump scares.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, this one got me a little bit more with a jump scare than the Conjuring. The Conjuring just freaked me out.
Yeah.
This one, there were two scares. One of them wasn't meant to be. The one jump scare that got me that was a legit jump scare was when the sister is looking at the flashlight, investigating where the brother went under the tractor, and when he reaches out and grabs her by the hand,
reaches out to her.
That got me. That jumped me. I mean, I think I peed myself just a little bit. The other one though that got me that it didn't mean to was when they transitioned from them leaving the farm to the river, and the river water was so loud in comparison to the first 15 minutes of the movie that it gave me a jump by itself. So anyway.
And after she steps on the nail and then like everything goes down, when they're running by again on the way up the stairs, like I was like, oh, she's going to step on it again.
Yeah.
I I said this several times after the nail. Why do they not just bend that over? Bend that over. And the kids are coming down the stairs, or the girl is for the first time. The alien thing, I'm like, I hope that freaking alien steps on that nail.
Would that have been kind of funny if it did? Like it's walking down the stair and steps on it, and it just kind of like looks at its foot and kind of like shakes it like it hurt it or something.
Right.
Maybe that's too comedic in the moment because we have like a lot of peril happening.
I just thought it would have been such a just mean to the audience, like, oh, she's getting away, but she steps on the other foot this time, and now it's like, just maybe it gets her now, you know. Or
what they should have done? Hopefully, they should have had the alien step on the nail, but show it like bending over that it won't pierce the skin.
Yeah, that would have been a cool idea. Yeah.
So
CGI that costs more money. This was a low budget film.
True.
Was it? I mean, $17 million. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. And, the last thing I wrote in the movie was, wait, what? John is dead?
Right? I did not see that coming.
Well, and here's the thing.
I didn't see that one coming.
So here's
but I was mad because this girl, I'm screaming at her to figure this thing out, right?
Yeah.
This is twice now that they've gone away from her because of her earpiece?
But she doesn't know it, which is the problem. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't know because she can't hear that the thing is behind her. So all she knows is that her ears are screaming. And then it wasn't until the truck where she realized there was a little bit of but it wasn't until downstairs where she really figured it out.
Yeah. But it was literally 5 minutes too late.
Yeah, it was.
Father, which they saw probably get brutally murdered.
Yeah.
Or not murdered, eaten.
Well, trampled, I mean, as soon as he screamed, the little Junior pulled the e-brake off the truck and ran it down towards the house. So they got out of there. So which made me think, because we didn't physically see him die, made me think that because there's a second movie. So I thought, he'll be fine. Here's maybe that when the camera cut away, maybe the monster only ripped him in the arm or got him across the chest, and he basically is somehow alive.
I said, parts of Jim will be in quite too.
No, I'm sure for the second one they were like, all right, listen, I really want to just direct, and let's make a female empowerment movie about how actually you do better without me.
All right.
It was the testosterone that drew the monsters.
I'm not going to lie, though. I had I'm going to be honest with you, not since Endgame did I have a moment of oh yeah, mother effer, when the girl truly realized it, and they look at the monitor and the other two that are in the area are running towards the house. She cranks that knob, gets that microphone ready, and the mom pumps that shotgun. I'm like, yeah, boy. And then they cut to the credits.
Yeah. And it goes black. Yeah. And I'm like, no! Yeah, I want to see some revenge.
Yeah, you kind of wanted to see it, yeah. But that part was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I have no clips of this movie because, again, there's the clip that I did the intro. That's about the only dialogue in the movie. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's not much. I think there's 20 lines of dialogue total. I
wonder how these monsters would work in the South with the things on the trees in the night,
like the cicadas and stuff.
Cicadas.
With the what? Cicadas?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nuts. That'd be almost like living in a waterfall.
It would make you wonder. It does get pretty loud down here. It would make me wonder, is there any other wildlife still out there? Are birds the only thing that are safe because they can fly away?
I don't know. I mean, there's some really quiet animals out there.
But I mean, cows gonna moo every now and then. I mean, all the cows been butchered. Our horses all dead.
I think that's why they had to catch fish.
Like dogs and stuff, they're probably.
Deer are extremely quiet animals.
Yeah, but they walk through the woods and they make noise. I mean, they might not bay or make vocal noise, but when they're rubbing their antlers against a tree when it's that time of year, I mean, that makes noise. So,
yeah,
I think you're right. I mean, I think you're talking about fish and birds and insect type things. I mean, obviously small rodents, I guess, but
snakes
and bears. Oh my, I don't know.
Howler monkeys.
Dude, I almost had to punch a howler monkey in Costa Rica last year.
Seriously?
I was like, shooing it away, and it just kind of like squared up and was like, well, let's see. And I was like, uh-oh. I'm going to get into a real fight with a tiny animal.
With a monkey, yeah.
That doesn't sound good at all. Okay, well.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to think. So in that case, I'm just going to play this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
I got some trivia here, some good trivia. The film's director and lead actor, John Krasinski, played the monster in a motion capture suit for a few scenes.
How about that?
I thought that was kind of cool. In order to connect with the characters, John Krasinski edited the first 2 cuts of the movie without any sound. According to John, the movie could work without any sound whatsoever.
It's kind of what I expected, to be honest.
I thought about that.
I thought it was going to be a lot quieter than it was, to tell you the truth.
There was another part of the script that I read, or not script, part of trivia that I read, where they had discussed having having no subtitles for the ASL, American Sign Language, and that you would just kind of have to figure out what they're saying, like context clues by facial expressions.
I kind of dig that. I love that when they do that in World War II movies where they don't translate the German, but you can just tell they're like, oh, he's pissed.
Yeah, but I mean, like imagine, you know what I'm saying? But like when it's the entire movie without it, like that would have been kind of hard. And then the reason when they started to change it was when he's kind of having his argument with his daughter and she wants to go and he's telling her to stay. Like that would have been a little difficult to kind of realize. And then obviously when he has his moment with her at the end, I mean, I guess you could probably figure out what he's saying, but they've decided it was best to be translated. And speaking of that moment, Simmons actually made John Krasinski, I don't know who Simmons is. Simmons is somebody. Actually made John Krasinski cry on set with a suggestion to change an important part of the script. During the climactic scene between Lee and his kids in the truck, the original script had him just signing I love you. However, Simmons suggested that he should sign I have always loved you, which made Krasinski cry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jim cries easily.
No, does he?
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
No, that's a shame. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. Here we go. On to this part.
Great.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
We're going to do top 3. This is where we talk about something, a category. That's the word I'm looking for. A category we picked for the movie. And we decided to do Emily Blunt movies because we did. And hopefully we've all seen enough of them. I've seen 3. Well, now 4 of her movies. So, Andrew, you get to go first.
Yeah, I have not seen very many either. So these are kind of in no particular order, to be honest.
All right.
The Adjustment Bureau.
Okay.
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Yeah.
And Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, interesting.
All right, cool. Sam.
All right. I've got Charlie Wilson's War at number 3.
Oh, she is in that. I have seen that. I don't remember what she's in that, though.
Yeah.
What is she in
I've
that
got
movie?
The Poppin' Mary Returns. She locks and pops in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then Edge of Tomorrow. I love Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Jane Little. I don't remember what she is in that movie.
Yeah.
I think she plays one of Charlie's secretaries.
You think? Okay. She has a last name. Yeah. Larry Little and Jane Little. She's not the hot girl that he sleeps with, is it?
She's one of the Littles.
Yeah, that's her. Oh my gosh. The guy that comes in and he's complaining that the manger is not going to get to be put on the fire station. They're going to move it to the church, but his hot daughter is there. That's her.
Nice.
That's funny. Okay.
Oh yeah. I knew it was somebody he hooked up with. I couldn't tell if it was a secretary or not.
No, yeah, that's her. Like she's like laying there asleep in his lap, and he's playing with her belly button, which it's gotta seem really strange, right? Like
creepy.
Yeah. Like, what are you
Was
doing?
it a Michael Bay movie?
No, he wasn't putting.
That happens in some of his.
Yeah, he wasn't putting animal crackers up there.
Animal crackers. Yeah.
That's such a good
grazing movie. On the belly button lint.
Steven.
Yeah, I definitely have seen like pretty much all of her movies. I'm a huge fan. But I do just love. I'm not being ironic, guys.
Oh, really?
Even Warrior Queen from 03?
I love Emily Blunt. If it were possible to just snuggle with her, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
She was fantastic in the 5-Year Engagement. Also, I loved her in just everything. God, she's
5-Year Engagement. Oh, I also watched that Sherlock Gnomes movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that. She's great in The Great Buck Howard. She's a really good supporting actor for sure.
Or Romeo and Juliet is what I meant to say. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then also, Edge of Tomorrow is just such a fantastic movie, and she's such a badass in it. Yeah. It's kind of like that scene in this movie where she cocks the shotgun. I was like, oh, hello.
I'm surprised no one said Sicario. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't either.
Oh, it's great. It's great. But I just, in terms of like characters that she gets to play or just overall movie, I think those are my choices.
I haven't seen The Huntsman Winter's War yet. I wonder if that's any good.
It is.
Yeah? Is it better than the first one? Because the first one is hot garbage.
Oh, I like them both.
Because your girl's in it.
Really? You like them both?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought the first one was okay.
Fairest of them all, and you cast Miss Teen Angst herself as the role. Like,
that's because you hate Stewart.
I don't hate her. I don't hate Stewart. I don't like Kristen Stewart. I don't find her attractive. 1 and 2.
Well, that's insane. But go ahead.
she's just huffy and just mopey. And the best role she ever did was in Panic Room, where she spent most of the movie dying of diabetes. So, yeah.
Whatever. I'll take her blood sugar. I'll make sure she's okay.
No, that's fine.
You know what?
Isn't she like
I think a Ben Stiller, Kristen Stewart movie is on the horizon for Sean.
That's fine. Hey, you know what? Yeah. She's in the new Charlie's Angels movie, and when that thing gets to streaming, I'll watch that too.
So, very good.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. What movies am I doing? I don't know. I did Looper because I didn't realize I'd seen as many of hers as I did.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Looper as my number 3, Into the Woods is number 2, and Edge of Tomorrow is my number 1.
Yeah.
Because Edge of Tomorrow is awesome, and if I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, I would watch it tonight. But I do, so there you go. The 5-Year Engagement, never even heard of it. That's with, it's Jason Segel. Look at that. Back when people liked him and did movies with him. Weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you noticed he's just kind of stopped? Like
he's like the Jessica Alba of men.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if he's got like products that he started a company for, like, instead of steaming vaginas, or steaming wieners or something.
Oh, that's weird. I mean, he's still acting. He's doing something called. He did Sex Tape in 14, End of the Tour in 15. He did something called The Discovery, which was an indie film, in 17, and then in 18 he did something called Come Sunday, and then this year he's doing The Friend, and then and the next year he Dispatches from Elsewhere. It's a TV series. So, yeah. Oh, he was with Dakota Johnson and Casey Affleck in The Friend. Good for him. Great. All right. So that's that part. This is the next part of the show.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
I wish I could remember. No, this is the part where we do our out of 10. We give this movie a ranking. We rank it from 0 to 10, depending on how much we enjoyed it. And Andrew goes first.
Yeah. Well, I didn't enjoy it, honestly, as much as I did
The Conjuring?
The Conjuring. But I did enjoy it, and it's something I would probably watch again. So I'm going to probably be at about 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Well, you still liked it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Because The Conjuring you gave a 7.37. No, 7.307. Because
there you go.
The 307 was a thing. Nice. Steven.
7.765.
Very nice.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I would watch again, and I thought for it to be Krasinski's first big time directorial thing, I thought he nailed it, and really lush scenery, some good acting, and you didn't get to see too much of the bad guys, so it was cool.
Yeah, I like the fact that we didn't really get a good look at him until the very end. Yeah, you're right. This is his. Yeah. He directed something called The Haulers.
Didn't he do an old football movie too?
No, it's this and then
he was in Leatherheads, but he didn't direct it.
Yeah, okay. Which was filmed in North Carolina, by the way.
How about that? Yeah. Go Tar Heels.
Go. Sure. Whose turn is it? Sam's.
Mine. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's not anything, it's not the best horror movie I've seen, but it's a fun little flick. I'd recommend it. I'd probably give it a 7.27 decibels out of 10.
Oh, you beat my joke.
7.2
what? 7.27
decibels.
7.27 decibels. Yeah, that's the joke I was going to make, or the thing I was going to say. I like this just a little bit better than The Conjuring, because The Conjuring didn't... I mean, The Conjuring legit freaked me out. This one didn't. Just had a couple jump scares, and it had me on the edge of my seat, and I'm legitimately excited for a second one. If I never watch...
I'm going to see a second one in the movie theater, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to see a horror movie in the theater.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to go see The Conjuring 2 or any of the other ones that they're making in the theater. If next Halloween we want to do Conjuring 2 or Annabelle, or if we just want to do all of the Patrick Wilson movies, then fine. But so anyway, I'm going to give this one a 7.75 decibels, which is just a little bit higher than The Conjuring, because I did think The Conjuring was a good movie. I just think this movie is just a little bit better.
Just a little louder.
Yeah. The Conjuring is a lot louder. Good Lord. That was a loud movie and violent and whatever.
Yes, my daughter did not appreciate us watching that movie in the living room while she was trying to sleep in her bedroom.
Oh, sure. I get that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's the show. That's it. It's time to go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Steve,
guys,
thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks again, buddy.
This has been the pleasure of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well.
I can't wait to one day join your ranks as legitimate child havers.
Oh. One day,
I feel like I was watching an episode of Game of Thrones early on, where all they're talking about is just bastard this and bastard. I was like, wow, jeez, everybody's just really going to town.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, him? That's he's a bastard. Like, wow, his name's John, and he's kind of nice. Can we just call him that? Like, nope.
No, we can't. Yeah.
Need everybody to know.
Yeah. No one else was a bastard. It's that show in general. It was. Yeah, I went there. We're doing something extremely different next week, and I have made the mistake of not checking to make sure that it's still streaming, but I'm pretty sure that it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know who put it on the list. I think Sam is kind of in charge of the list right now, so...
Oh, that is scary.
Yeah, it is.
But we're away from Halloween. What do we think about our Halloween picks this year?
I thought that this was a pretty good year as far as...
do just one kind of bust, right? Or one bust?
Well, Life After Beth wasn't great. It had a couple of moments that I think we all liked, but it wasn't great. Velvet Buzzsaw was kind of the only one that really sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steve, don't ever go watch Velvet Buzzsaw. Just
don't worry.
Don't do it. Because it had all the makings of a fun kind of thing, because it was the same actors and director that did Nightcrawler, which we all
which was almost a horror movie in itself.
Yeah, a little bit. So no, I thought this October was probably pretty good. I mean, it beats the hell out of last year with Mother, Doom, Witch, and The Shining. I don't know.
Although,
yeah. I remember I didn't like The Shining. I didn't think The Shining was great.
Are we anybody looking forward to the second Dr. Sleep or whatever?
I am, only because I like the first one.
Yeah, me too.
Sure, I'll see it if it comes out streaming or something. You know what? I'm looking back at our other Octobers. I mean, this month was better than The Babysitter, Babadook, Buried, or Birdemic. Birdemic kind of brings the average down on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys have kind of like straightened up your shop, because it felt like the first few years I would come on and you were reviewing some real scattered pictures here.
Well, we still kind of do.
Yeah.
We still are all over the map, but
the streaming game is better with adding Amazon to it, and
yeah, and this was interesting. I was actually recently given the compliment personally to my face or to my ear that they enjoyed that we did some of the not big budget named movies that are out there. And then I laughed and like, well, we're going to be doing a Mission Impossible movie coming up soon. And he was like, well, I mean, you know, okay. So, because he liked our review of Seven Psychopaths. And he was like, man, I'm glad you did that movie, because most people, you know, probably wouldn't have reviewed that movie. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the next few movies that we did were all kind of, you know, named, you know, kind of big movie. But again, Seven Psychopaths was in theaters. It's not like it was some weird indie film that no one had ever heard of. So, anyway.
You know what I don't like about movies like that is when they do sequels and they just add a number, which is, I know the temptation is huge, like, you know, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody just hold fast to their guns and be like, you know what, this is Seven Psychopaths 2.
Sure.
We're not adding a psychopath, just so you guys can call it 8 Psychopaths.
Oh, 8 Psychopaths.
Eight Psychopaths.
Yeah.
We've made 7 Psychopaths 2.
Are there other examples of that besides the Ocean movies where they did that? I'm trying to think what other movies that have a number in it.
The Whole 10 Yards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. That is lame. And that movie's not very good anyway.
And then we all remember 2 Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm just kidding.
The lesser known movie Air Force 2. No one cares about the vice president. I can't think of any other movies. That's a great example.
Some of the Fast and Furious, right? Don't they do some weird things?
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too
instead
Furious.
Of Fast and Furious 2.
Fate, where they use the word 8 in there, or the number 8.
Yeah.
The number.
Yeah, the word, letter, whatever. One thing I forgot to mention about this movie, going back to this movie real quick, that I don't know why, I love movies where, and typically it's in post-apocalyptic movies, and I don't know why it's always a source of anxiety. But when people have built their world, and it's meticulous and it's perfect, and then the monsters come in and in the night just wreck it. You know, like his farm and his house and everything was perfect. And then in one night, I mean, most of this movie is one night. It's all underwater and wrecked. Like in Waterworld, I know it's a terrible movie, but like his boat is a precision instrument of boating. And then by the end of the movie, it's burnt. And for some reason, that just gives me such anxiety. It's like, oh, these guys work so hard and it's going to be ruined. So anyway, I don't know. That's just the thing. It's a me thing. I get it. I'm fine. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Just get some snacks and some booze, and, you know, better to die with a pristine boat
than to live with a busted one, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you know, go out on your own terms with all your trinkets.
Your trinkets and things. I like trinkets. That's a fun word.
Jamison knows what I'm talking about.
We do know these things. They do swim, so in 2 feet of water.
Yeah, that was weird. Well, I don't know. That was pretty. Yeah, you're right. It was only about 2 feet because it came up to her knees. I would think that. Yeah, it was weird. I know. So, like, do they go underwater and like attack? I guess fish don't make noise. Whales make noise. They make song. I mean, they're like cutting up humpback whales and stuff. That just seems mean. Okay. Anyway.
All right. So we were about to end this thing.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Next week we're doing Christopher Robin,
and it is streaming. Still.
Yeah, it is streaming. So we are going.
Yeah.
Very
cute and cuddly next.
Yes, very cute and cuddly. Less violent, more bear. Pooh Bear. So Christopher Robin with Obi-Wan Kenobi and some other people. So that's going to do it. That's our show. And yeah, Also, I'm going to go ahead and plug it again real quick. I was interviewed on a podcast. I have put the link on Facebook and Twitter for that show. If you have any desire to listen to me talk about my experience at a theme park, by all means, go find that. It was a good time. And the host of that show will be joining us in a few weeks to do a review here. So
awesome.
little cross promotion happening in the podcast ranks, which is cool. All that being said, it's time to do the part where I say things like go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Cheapseat Reviews. Like us, follow us on Twitter @CheapseatCast. I'm no longer going to ask you to leave a review on iTunes. I'm not going to do it. So instead, my call to action is for you to simply share the podcast with someone that you know that you like on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on whatever medium that you social media. Just share the show. It'd be very helpful. And go to Steve Everett's website, steveeverett.com, and buy his music because it's awesome.
Good stuff.
I was legitimately listening to his, not illegitimately like Steven, but legitimately listening to his to his new album while editing the website. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, also go to my website, which is steveeverettmusic.com.
Oh,
either one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, steveeverett.com, though that not, you don't own that one?
No, it's a dude in Kentucky. He's never posted any pictures, but he's a photographer, he says.
And he sells for him.
Okay.
That's lame. So
yeah, I've been staking out his place, though. I think he's probably going to come off that domain pretty soon.
Yeah, you should tell him you'll put it in one of your songs or something.
Yeah, I offered to buy it from, and he was just like, nah, I might need it. And I was like, okay.
Well, I just tried typing in steveeverett.com and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
That's weird.
He's just kind of sitting on a domain. It's the new real estate. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for having me. This is a blast every time.
steveeverett.net.
Thank you. We always have fun when
you're
on here, Steve.
Isn't that what it is? What's steveeverett.net? That's a thing.
That's me too, yeah.
Me too. So you have two? I'm confused.
Well, it's all going to the same place, but...
Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm happy. Oh, that's weird. Okay, anyway. Save search on. Save search on. Sorry. So that's going to do it for us. So on behalf of Steve, Sam, and Andrew, this is Sean saying thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week with Christopher Robin.
Walking?
Steven.
Yes. They sound cute. I'm not going to lie to you.